Lions CV, happy Friday. I hope you're going to have a good weekend. I could potentially just be about to ruin it. Honestly, it could only happen to us. You could not make it up. Now, I'm unsure whether this is old news, new news, or news that we all already knew, but we're scared to talk about. Of course, I'm talking about the possibility of Bart Bialkowski leaving the club in January. Yep, you heard it right. It is a strong possibility that Bart could not be here come January. Let's have a look why. So after years and years and years and fucking years of having an absolute clown between the sticks, we finally find ourselves, after a long search, long and painful search, we find ourselves a decent shot stopper at last. But now it appears that the Bartman is fair game and could well be snapped up by someone else in January. First things first, cast your mind back to the summer. Bialkowski is relegated with Ipswich and he wants to leave the club. Millwall come calling, and as it appears he's going to be our new number one, he fails a medical. Apparently a very old knee injury flags up in the medical, and as a result Millwall first out refused to buy Bialkowski, then go back in with a lower bid which Ipswich then refuse, and they're in deadlock. So then Millwall switch their attentions to Bristol City and Frank Fielding and go and sign the goalkeeper, who then plays the whole of pre-season and looks very, very accomplished to me. A week before the season starts, Millwall still need another goalkeeper, so they go back to Ipswich and they strike a deal, which is a loan deal for Bialkowski until the end of this season. Tom Elliott was supposed to go the other way, but an injury put pay to that. What has happened to him, by the way? I forgot he even played for the club. So the deal is done. Bialkowski comes in as Frank Fielding's number 2. Frank Fielding, you know the rest, you know the script. He pops his quad in the first game of the season, taking a place kick in the first half against Preston, and has been out injured ever since. So then Bialkowski is thrown into the mix at very, very short notice. Not a lot of pre-season under his belt, a lot of controversy surrounding him and the transfer. But listen, it's turned out Bart is a very, very accomplished goalkeeper. His shot stopping is absolutely second to none. He's a real presence in goal. You can tell he wants to be around the club. He's vocal on social media. I love all that. But more importantly, the fucker can catch the ball, unlike some. And at first, I'll be honest, I wasn't overly sold on Bart. His show reel didn't blow me over, and anyone that can get lobbed by Ryan Leonard. But Bialkowski has proved time and time again that he's a phenomenal shot stopper. He's made some of the best saves I've ever seen. That one at Reading is the most recent one in my memory. He still has a little bit to be desired with the ball at his feet. But listen, first things first, my goalkeeper's priority for me, he's got to be able to save the ball. And Bart's the big man, Bialkowski, is second to none. I should point out, in the midst of all the carnage, we also signed Luke Steele as good cover for Bialkowski, whilst Frank Fielding is still out injured. When that injury ends, God only knows, but I don't think it's going to be any time before March. So now things are looking up finally for Millwall. We've got some good goalkeepers on the books. We've got Bialkowski, who's our number 1, making some unbelievable saves, making some unbelievable tweets, saying how much he loves playing for the club. And of course, on top of that, for all the statisticians out there, he's breaking all sorts of records, including all sorts of stats like the most saves in the Championship. But of course, it wouldn't be Millwall if there wasn't some sort of fuck-up along the way, and it now appears that Bart Bialkowski is fair game in January, which in terms, footballing terms, means if someone wants to come in for Bart and buy him in January, then they can. He is on loan at Millwall until the end of the season, but that loan is only, of course, unless someone comes in to buy him in the January transfer window, which surrounded all these great saves, which surrounded all the great tweets and all the hype and all the top tables of the stats that he's at, isn't impossible. So I wasn't overly sold on Bialkowski at first, and I'm the first one to admit that, but now I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Cut the shit, cut all the chaos, don't even let it start. Go out and buy him. Go and buy him now before anyone else does. Get the deal done with Ipswich. If they still want Tom Elliott, we'll happily throw him in, by the way. What we absolutely cannot afford is another Darren Huckabee, Chris Wood, Ben Marshall situation. Worked out all right for Marshall, by the way, didn't it? We have to buy this player. It happens to us a lot. Players come to us, they perform on loan. It could happen with Malumbi as well. And then we get gazumped, we get bamboozled, and we get... No, gazump was the right word. We get gazumped by another team who come in, see a player that's performing for us on loan well, and ends up in their wage demands, up in their fee, and they end up fucking off somewhere else. So let's not mess about. Let's get it done early. Let's pin the big man down to a permanent contract. It is in our hands. Don't even let it turn into a press well win. Just get him done, get him signed. And if we are still worried about his kneecaps, there's 2 things we need to remember. Well, actually 3 things. Kneecaps are easily replaced, so we can get that done in the summer. Secondly, we need to remember that Gary Rowett is now manager of our club. Neil Harris got Bialkowski in, so maybe Rowett's got other ideas for goalkeepers, but surely he likes what he sees with Bart. He's been pivotal in our 2 wins so far under Rowett, and I'm sure Gary Rowett knows a good cat when he sees it. Like me, Gaffer, get him signed. And of course, the third and final point I will make towards signing Bialkowski in this goalkeeping carnage is we didn't sign Bialkowski permanently because he was worried about his injury. Bialkowski is currently the only first-team goalkeeper fit at the club. Luke Steele has got a finger injury, and poor old Frank Fielding is still in turmoil with his quad. So there you go, there's a little round-up on the current situation on Bialkowski. I want him to sign for the club permanently. I'm sure you want him to sign for the club permanently. Absolutely for no reason would the club not want him to sign permanently. So let's get it done early, boys. Let's get this goalkeeper signed up on the permanent to a long-term contract because he's Millwall's #1 and he's absolutely doing the job. Enjoy the international break. We'll be back for some Swansea pre-match stuff next week. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.